Yo, internet, it's the Nerd of the Nave back with some more action RPG content. Um, Here I am, the starting screen of Last Epoch. Uh, it's been a few days since I uploaded, and I will say it's not because I've been particularly busy. It's been because of Last Epoch. I've been playing this game a ton. As you can see, I've got a level 80 character here. Um, I've got about 28, 29 hours in the game over the past week because I had pretty light time with work, and not a lot else to do. So I did a lot of gaming, perhaps too much, but I've really been enjoying this game, and so I figured since I ended up wrapping up the campaign to Grim Dawn while I wasn't recording, and I was like, oh, and I guess that's kind of awkward. But how that works in Grim Dawn is that the end game is to uh, basically New Game Plus, where you just start the campaign again on a higher difficulty with the same character at the new level, and then you keep playing. And that holds my attention much less. And had a friend of mine tell me about this game Last Epoch, that it recently had a big update, yada yada yada. It's on Steam. It's like $35, um, and they just added multiplayer. It's in beta, and that it was really good, and that it was a good balance between Path of Exile and Diablo 3 in terms of graphics, kind of speed, and complexity. So, anyways, jump in game here. I am playing online, and so occasionally I lag out a little bit with my crappy internet, but um, the main thing actually, it runs pretty well even on a bad internet connection, but the main thing that's been an issue is there's like a memory leak in the game right now, in the current build. So my performance is super good right now, but by the end of the video, I might start having a pretty crappy frame rate. Um, so yes, this is Last Epoch. Um, I'll be doing some things that probably won't make sense, and I'll try and explain as I go the things that I'm doing. Um, but yes, I've really been enjoying this game. It's got a really, really good crafting system that allows for a lot of creativity and a lot of replayability. And even though there's randomness to it, it doesn't feel, ridiculously punishing um, for like the time investment. Um, and so it's actually pretty cool if you've played enough ARPGs. I know I mentioned it in Grim Dawn. You set up a loot filter so you don't just see everything that's falling on the ground. In this game, that's all literally like built into the game super nicely. So I have that essentially filtering out the items that I want to pick up that have the affixes that I want for crafting, and then I can go and start crafting with the item bases and affixes that I want for my build. Um, and so that's been really fun. And so right now, all I'm doing is I'm jumping to these different vendors around the world and buying these runes of shattering, which I'll show you guys what those do as soon as I buy enough of them. Um, Essentially, there's like four different types of runes, and then you have these affix shards that allow you to upgrade different affixes on gear. So I'll open up the forge in a second. As soon as I get all the stuff I need here. You never have enough of these runes of shattering because you're trying to get enough all the affixes that you want, or all the affix shards that you want, and to get them. Say there's like, so the point of these, I think that's all the ones that I want to buy. 'Cause there's no other towns. Yeah, there's none there. Okay. Then I'll bounce back. I'll just teleport to the monoliths, which is another thing I'll explain shortly. The monolith of fate is kind of like the end game. Uh, Area for Last Epoch. So, Runes of Shattering destroys an item, creating a random number of affix shards containing its powers. So essentially, I'll use these after. If I say shattered these boots, which I'm not gonna do because they're very good boots that I'm using right now, it would give me like random amounts of vitality, affix shards, movement speed, dodge rating, elemental resistance shards. The other thing that's great about this game is instead of having to fill your whole stash with a bunch of freaking crafting items, you literally just hit transfer crafting items, and it's got an account wide stash that doesn't actually go into your stash of all of your crafting items. And you'll see as I play, there's a ton of crafting items that drop. So, pretty cool. So, this is after the campaign into these monoliths of fate, which sort of like mapping in Path of Exile, but you basically pick these little island things. They have a bunch of mobs with some objective. You do the objective, and at the end you get the reward at the end if you do it without dying. And then you get stability, which progresses these quest echoes, which each one has like an objective or a boss to do. And when you finish all three, you get to progress to the next monolith. So I'll jump in here. As you probably saw at the character screen, I'm using an archer build, um, and so I just freaking mow stuff down with my bow. It's a pretty good time. Yeah, basically my other builds are kind of support stuff, and I did some crafting last night, so my I got a bit stronger. So I'm level 80. And these monsters are actually level 90. So my build is doing pretty well for itself. I started off the game making my own build. Um, and the system's maybe a little more complicated than Grim Dawn, but not by much. But I kind of hit a wall when I was doing the campaign. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And so I ended up going onto a website and just trying out their build, and that's been good because it's allowed me to kind of focus on the other aspects of the game, like learning how the crafting works, learning how the end game systems work and stuff, and not having to worry about, my build. The nice thing though is it's very easy. It's not super punishing to respec in this game, unlike Grim Dawn and Path of Exile and stuff. Where it's like, oh crap, if I have to respec, I almost just need to make a new character, which can be pretty painful. So these blue items are idols, which I'll show what those are. And then yellow are rare, obviously. There's gold on the ground, and then there's these shrines that are just like as they are in Diablo 3 or Path of Exile. They give some buff. But the idols you put here, and these idol slots, that they just have some different buffs on them. It's not too complicated. Pop back over here, get my reward, put my chest. So see here how this one's like capitalized. I have a loot filter, so if it has an affix on it that I want, then that I have selected that I want, it gets capitalized, and so this one has 4% increased health on it. So it's something that I would like to have for shattering. So what I do is I just bought a bunch of those shards. So grab all these rares that I put aside because I would like to shatter them. Actually, I don't even need to go there. I just open up the forge in my inventory. So this guy has like resistances, 10% all resistances while channeling. I want that. I'll be wanting those affix shards for later. So I just hit shatter. Boom. I got unlucky. It only got lightning damage, but you shatter. So that one got like a bunch. So health shard. So just shatter all these real fast with the runes of shattering that I bought. And then I'll be out of them before I know it. So I kind of just have to do this every once in a while, keep growing my massive stash of affix shards for future crafting. Other thing that's nice about this game right now is you don't have to. It's not like it's a league or anything. They're planning to do leagues or or seasons like they have in Diablo 3 or Path of Exile in the future, but that's not in the game right now, so it's pretty chill. Nothing too crazy going on. You got plenty of time to just play and learn the game, and I appreciate that. So, arena keys. So that's the other thing. There's dungeons in the arena, which is like an endless wave thing that you can do with those keys. I haven't done that too much, so I'm not going to try and explain too much something I haven't done. So this guy rewards exalted shields. I might as well do that. See if I get anything useful. I won't use a shield, but exalted gear is nice to have, so use it on another character eventually maybe. So yep, keep doing these, and then once I got enough stability, oh, it's just one of these. I like these. These aren't the most efficient for like getting a ton of stability. They keep progressing the Atlas, but you have lots of monsters to kill. And I like that. So fire dogs. So I just mow everything down. Should be some shrines. There we go. Mana recovery cooldown reduction, which is not too helpful for me. That's the other thing, is as soon as it gets dicey, really, I can put down my smoke bomb so that I get some damage reduction and ability to dodge. Dodge stuff. Oh, that ogre has a lot of health. Nice thing too is I've got like a chance to stun on a lot of my gear. A lot of leech, so I can kind of stun these guys so they don't do their casts and stuff. It's pretty good. Mow all this stuff down. You can see my build is not, it's pretty good for just AoE clearing all of this crap, but I definitely struggle a bit more. I don't have the same amount of single target damage, so I struggle a bit more when it comes to bosses. I'm a bit slower, so we'll see how, probably in this play session, be able to get to the boss of this monolith. Probably die once or twice to figure out the mechanics, but my main issue is I'll need to learn the mechanics, and then so I can figure out when I can do damage. You can see there's an item that's highlighted in red there that I have set up in my filter so that it's showing that's a item base, meaning it's like it's a skull in your quiver. It doesn't necessarily have the affixes that I want on it, but it's the item base, so that means that the implicit modifiers on it are what I want. So all Skalnir quivers have 24% bow critical strike multiplier on them. And that's something I just want in general, so it's easy to pick this up. Same with this. Ooh, it's got health, physical res on it. Could want to craft with that base too. Pop this guy open. Bunch of purple shields. Open the chest. Crap. Sell. Just throw all this crap in here for later. And then put this in my usable or craftable. Because I want health. I basically want a ton of health on my belt. I have to pull up my guide to remember. I won't do any crafting really this episode, maybe in the future. But yeah, so this is Last Epoch. If you definitely feeling an ARPG, want something new, want something that has more of that end game progression and stuff, is a little faster than Grim Dawn. Last Epoch is great. You obviously just have to be comfortable with it being a beta, so it's definitely still got some jank, but for being a beta from a small company, it's pretty solid. I heard that actually from one of the Path of Exile YouTubers that I have followed in the past, and as I'm thinking I'll talk about this more. I think the new Path of Exile League starts next Friday, which is Good Friday, so I'm probably not even gonna play that much, especially it's Easter and Holy Week and everything coming up this week. Today's, as of recording, it's Palm Sunday, early in the morning. Playing some games before I end up having to mass. Um, yeah. Um, the story about this game. I heard, I don't know if this is 100% true, but developers literally like were just people who were on the Path of Exile Reddit and were like, hey, we want to make a game. And then they just like, all of a sudden, like a tiny group got together. This is like 2016, 2017, I think. And then they first had their playable thing in 2018 and it was terrible. And they've been working on it ever since. And now it's 2023 and the game's actually like pretty good. Um, so pretty cool. And now, as I mentioned, Holy Week and those things, I realized that I didn't start this video in a prayer, which I really should just have a note to tell myself to do that. So we will do that now. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Come, Holy Spirit, teach us how to pray. Lord, we thank you for this time, for leisure, for relaxation. Pray that you may bring us peace and recovery of mind, soul, and spirit, and that you may allow this time for gaming and listening to bring us that peace, and that, but at the same time, that you may work in us, that we may not be attached to these things of this world, and that we may be separated from them, that we may grow in virtue and continue to recognize the goodness of God. He is infinitely greater, and that we may find our treasure in Him and not in the things of this world. Amen. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. I'm still not awake. I was a bit scattered, but still better that we pray. So yeah, leading into Holy Week this week. I don't have any crazy plans. I'm just kind of sick and tired of the fact that the secular world doesn't notice or recognize like the most important week of the year as anything important. And so like I have like a ton of stuff to do Friday for work and like all sorts of stuff. And it's like, well, I'm still debating like what amount I could fast that's reasonable, because like I got a test Friday. I have, a bunch of class. Like, oh crap, I got deleted. All right. Well, no rewards from there, so I'll do a different one. Well, actually, let's do this. Why not? Yeah, so I'm kind of frustrated about that, but I think I'm gonna be able to go to Mass and Adoration and Confession and stuff Wednesday this week. And then hopefully on sorry, now I'm fighting the boss. I gotta kind of pay attention here. Hopefully I should be able to go to service Friday evening with some friends of mine. And then I think I'm going to be going to Easter Vigil too with some friends of mine. So we've got that stuff going on. But yeah, still trying to just be able to enter into this Holy Week well. This is last year. It was much more available. Oh my gosh, this guy bugged. Okay, he teleported now. Now I can attack him. So that's something you can see. I just couldn't attack him. Some bugginess in this game. I haven't fought this one before, so I'm still kind of like learning the mechanics on the spot. Okay, he's just about dead. There we go. Cooldown recovery speed. It's kind of cool. So yeah, I don't have too many plans. Last year I did a bread and water fast. Starting I started fasting after dinner on Holy Thursday, so I fasted bread and water Friday, Good Friday, and then Holy Saturday, and then went to Easter Vigil, and then had went to get fast food with a bunch of my friends after Easter Vigil Mass, which was fun. But yeah, so I don't have anything too crazy planned for Holy Week. I just hope that I can enter into it well, and yeah, stay attached to it. Because like I said, there's some distractions. I went to the new Path of Exile League, which I'm really excited for. It begins on Good Friday. So I'll probably play it a little bit, but I'm definitely gonna do. I'm always definitely gonna fast. I just don't know if I'm gonna do bread and water or not. Because I don't know if that's the responsible thing to do when I've got tests and things I need to do that are pretty impactful for my work. As much as I would like to do that, I don't know if it's the responsible thing to do. So I'll probably just end up doing a normal Catholic fast day. But I don't know if you guys can hear that, but got stuff going on outside that you can hear. At least I can hear. Maybe now is a good time to talk about Path of Exile. So, like I said, I've played Path of Exile. I would always get into the beginning of a league. I'd play for, a week or two, and I would get burned out because the game is so complicated. And I never felt like I understood what was going on, and I never knew like how to progress my character. And so pretty quickly I just get stuck. And it's funny, I still feel like I have no idea what I'm doing in that game other than like understanding the very basics. And I have 200 hours in the game, which just kind of speaks to the complexity of Path of Exile. But yeah. Anyways, the so there's a new league coming out for Path of Exile. Man, I am scattered. I'm also like kind of like half nervous that I'm just gonna get deleted by some frozen thing falling from the sky. Like I got killed by the Wingari shaman or whatever it was. So, anyways, the new league mechanic looks interesting, and obviously still enjoying the ARPGs. I'm trying not to like overplay Last Epoch. Like the game's gonna be here forever. So I'm like, when I was first started playing, I was like super addicted, and then I was like, all right, hold up, what are you doing here? And so now I'm just kind of enjoying it as it comes, and then that's the other thing too, which I think will be better, because that was the other thing with the Path of Exile leagues I played in the past. Like I'd play like have a big like 4 or 5 hour session the day the league came out, and then just trying to get through the campaign, and then by the time I would get to maps in a couple days, I'd played multiple like several hour long sessions, and I'm just like, I don't feel like doing this because I don't even know what to do. I don't know the game. It's like, so I actually think it might be better that Easter's gonna be this weekend. I'll play it a little bit, but not too much, and then just kind of play it more casually, going into the next couple months while the league is up, and actually try and learn the game more rather than just like grind as fast as I can and whatever. I can't attack him. There we go. So, and there we go. Shaping. Cool. Gold. Shards. And it'll be shattering. Oh, this person has written shattering on them that I need to buy. Shatter these now. Yeah, see, this is what I really want on my helmet. This helmet's like got obviously a ton of resist on it, which is nice, and it's got the implicits I want, but what I really want is +1 to multi-shot and increased bow damage. Like, that would be so good for me. But it's not the item base that I want, so. This guy, though, having the implicit fire. Nah, I'll just disenchant it for the health. Sure, it's cool. Almost up to that third thing, so we'll farm some more rare amulets here. But yeah, Path of Exile, I really want. The game is super complicated, and I think one thing that for me gets me, and it's going to be a balance, right? Because like I said, ARPGs can be super addicting. Similar with, competitive games can be super addicting. The nice thing about competitive games is in some ways they can be easier to just pick up and put down because it's not like you're like trying to progress a character, but at the same time you're trying to get better at a game sometimes, and it's like, well, you're never going to really get better at a game if you are just like playing it super casually. So you kind of have to like set your expectations to a certain point, so that you don't like think you're going to be the next trying to be some like playing ranked super hard or something like that. But yeah, so I'm hoping I can find a good balance. But PoE, the challenge of like understanding that game is super interesting to me. It's not like it's super high level math or anything. It's just like there's a lot of different things that multiplicatively and additively work together for your build, and you have a bunch of different places you have to go. If you haven't looked at the Path of Exile skill tree, you should do it just to have a little bit of appreciation for the people who like make builds for that game and like, are good at it, because it's just so complex. And there's so much like just knowledge that you have to have in order to like make a build. Whereas like when I play, I'm just gonna look up a build and follow it to a T so that I have a character that works well and can play through the content, and then I'll spend more of my time learning the systems aspects of the game, like how does the crafting work, how do you trade with other players, how do you make currency, which it's not just like gold in Path of Exile, it's all these different items that you use for crafting that are essentially the currency, and then you use different like external websites to trade with other players in order to get the items you want. So yeah, there's it's pretty cool. It's complicated, but it's cool. And then we'll see, once I'm back home in Japan and work is going there, how much time I have to really play. But I'm hoping I can find a healthy balance. But the nice thing is, Last Epoch is much less complicated and doesn't even have a seasons thing yet, so it's pretty easy to just jump in, jump out. Than with Path of Exile. So depending on what my time availability is looking like, that'll probably dictate which game I'll play. But I'm just glad that Path of Exile exists, because I think it's an awesome, super cool game. And then I'm glad Last Epoch exists, because it's a great new option, new ARPG option. So shattering. Cool. Oh, and then I gotta look at these amulets. Shatter. Sell. Stash it. Sell. Sell. It's my one thing. I guess I don't need to pick up as many items. I'm probably picking up more items than I need to. Like I have all these exalted items. And this is all account bound, so I only have one character, but if I make another character, they'll have access to the same stash, and then my stash will really get filled up. But that's fine. So the main thing that I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to finish these monolith areas. So as soon as I finish this area, there's 2 more that I have to complete. And then I guess there's maybe a final boss fight. I haven't looked into that yet. But then you unlock Empower. Oh my gosh, that's the freaking snow guy that killed me before. You unlock Empowered Monoliths, which lets you do all the monoliths. So the monoliths have like a certain level, so this one's like level 90. And then there's, like when you start, the monoliths start at like level 58. So, but once you finish them all, you can unlock Empowered Monoliths, which lets you do all of the monoliths, and they're all at level 100. And so there's certain legendary items, or not legendary, unique items that drop in certain monoliths. So like there's a unique item that I want that drops in the first monolith that you unlock that's level 58. I'm like, well, I don't want to farm level 58 because it's going to make the item drop levels super low compared to what level I am. And so I want to get it at a higher level. And so what you want to do is to then get to Empowered Monoliths and farm the area when it can be level 100, when everything's level 100. And then I can get that unique item that I want at the actual level that I want it. So that's kind of what the goal is right now. Is to progress my monolith to get to the Empowered. And then be able to start farming for those. And then once I'm there, I'm going to try and do some more of the dungeons and stuff, because I'll start to have the uniques that I want for my build. I know there's one unique for another build. There's a bow that lets you do like cold damage. That's actually from this monolith. It drops from the boss in this monolith, but it's like a 50%. It's like a 50% chance to drop. So we'll see if I get it. If I do, that could be kind of cool. I don't know if I want to change my build yet, but at least I'd have that bow for the future. If I would like to try that other build, the snow ranger build. But yeah, you can see it's pretty slow going. I dinged 80 yesterday, and that was about when I logged off. And just in playing this morning, I was still only about halfway to 81, so it's leveling slows down a lot once you hit like level 70-ish. Maybe like level 60-ish. But the game is, yeah, I'm really enjoying it. You're probably like, man, you're just holding down one button. How are you enjoying it that much? I mean, one, it's an RPG, so it's fun to just like watch mobs melt on your screen. It feels super strong. But at the same time, there we go. That. Damage while channeling. Ooh, this is damage while channeling and resistances while channeling. That's really good for me. I might actually want to craft on that. I'll save it. Because I don't remember exactly what the other ones I want on it. So essentially this one's what I've been using. Because it's got damage while channeling, chance to shred armor on hit, and critical strike chance, which are all really good for me. But the fact that this has damage while channeling and resistances while channeling is, and it's all resistances. So like I'm channeling whenever I attack. So and it has frailty on hit. So really the only explicit I want to re-roll on this is damage over time, because that does nothing for me. Oh, that's okay. I'm gonna craft it right now, and you guys can see what the crafting system looks like here. Do I want this? No. Okay. So I'll dump these idols. I really want these to all freaking Jenga together really nicely, but probably not gonna happen. Okay. Not Jenga. Tetris. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. So essentially open up the forge. So this is good, this is good, this is good. And you have forging potential. So basically each time you craft, you have a chance to reduce the forging potential of an item. And then when a item's forging potential is reduced to 0, you can no longer craft the item. The item's just stuck at the state that it's in. So, the damage over time is tier 5. That sucks. So essentially to change an affix, you can randomize it with a glyph of chaos, which upgrades it to the next tier, and then changes it to a random other affix. Issue is, T5 is the max level of a tier of a crafted affix, so I can't upgrade it again, which means I can't randomize it, which means my only option would be to like wipe the item, wasting all the crafting potential with like runes of removal and re-scrambling everything when I have 3 affixes that I want. So I'm going to upgrade all these and see how it affects my damage. So you can see I use these Glyph of Hope because it gives a 25% chance of not using any crafting potential or forging potential. So I got a tier 5, I only use 3. I'm going to do the same thing here. Tier 5, tier 5. Cool. So now this thing is 20% to all resistances while channeling, 55% increased damage while channeling, and 32% chance to apply frailty on hit. And frailty on hit means that it makes the monsters it's hitting deal reduced damage. And leech rate is sort of helpful for me. So I'm going to keep this, but I'm going to try this out. Let's see. Let's put this one back in my stash in a place that I won't waste it. This is another one I was thinking of crafting with, but that's not nearly as good as this. This rolled better on like most of the implicits basically, and it's other things. So try this bad boy out. I guess just straight into the boss fight. We'll see how this goes. So I have to stop Haoret, which I think I was helping in the story. He's like this frost ice deer man. Alright, let's see what the heck is happening here. So you can see I don't do a ton of damage single target, so I'm gonna have to. It's gonna be a longer fight. Oh, I'm frozen. Alright. But I can kind of shoot him from off the screen, which is nice. Like I said, I have more resistances while channeling, so I'm actually more. I'll take less damage when I'm sitting here. Okay. Okay. We're doing good so far. Holy moly. So I basically just have to stay in this freaking ring here. Okay. Got him down to about half health. Looks like I have to kill his spirit guys here. Just keep him away from me so they aren't dealing damage. Oh no, 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 no. Okay, I just had to spam all my potions to make sure I didn't die there. Okay, this is not the place that I want to be in now. I have no health potions. I need some more to drop, man. Okay, I've got him down to about a third health. I really need some more health potions to drop, though. I don't know why. I guess I need luck. Okay, maybe from killing some of these mobs. We'll get some more health potions. Maybe. Oh, these things are tanky. What the hell? Oh, man. There's a health potion. There we go. Okay, I'm going to try and position so that I'm shooting the boss at the same time. Not a lot of commentary, because I'm pretty focused. Because if I die, I restart the entire fight. Come on. There we go. Oh. Damn, I didn't get the legendary I wanted though. Oh well. Okay. Cold resistance blessing. Armor blessing. Freeze rate per stack of chill. So this is useless. Armor or cold resistance? These are all gonna get reset when I get to the epics. This is gonna do more stuff, so I think I'm just gonna do this because it'll do for everything. And I think I'm already, yeah, I got plenty of cold res, so I'm just gonna do this. Sanctum. Damn, I didn't get the item I wanted. Oh well. Pour it out. Boom. Monolith. Done, baby. Age of Winter. Complete. Now we just gotta go do these two. So I think I just run over here. Kind of impressed I did that on my first try. I was able to pick up on the mechanics pretty quick. Do some running through outer space. And where's the new one? The Last Ruin. Let's get some more of these. These are all level 90, which is nice. So I'll be scaling these up. And then when I'm done with them, I could just unlock some power, which is really what I want. Then I can really start farming. Ooh, idols. I wish you could pick up all your idols once like you did with crafting materials. Okay. There we go. There we go. Lots of freaking shards. That's what we like to see. Good for crafting. I'm a little slow to get stuff picked up sometimes, though. I'm surprised I haven't had any internet issues. This game, it's been pretty amazing how solid it's been, despite me having a pretty bad internet connection. I've been very pleased. I thought I was gonna. Thankfully, you can make offline characters in this game. They just can't ever be turned into online characters. So I figured I would start with an online character. If it was so bad, then I would just switch to making an offline one. But I haven't needed to. So it's been a pleasant surprise. Sealed void gate. I've been paying attention to any of the chat that's in the bottom right, so or bottom left. So if it is bad, I apologize. I probably should just turn that off for future. It just has a global chat going, which in video games can be a pretty nasty place. One other thing I forgot to mention too is I met a friend of mine now. I met a guy that I've been playing some games with since I've been here for work, and he's a big Path of Exile player, so he's actually going to be playing the next league too. So he offered to spend some time teaching me the game a bit, so that was another motivation to play some more. Was that I finally have somebody else who could help me learn the game. So that always helps. Throwing hit. Armor short effect is good. So it's or shatter it rather. Pop this guy open. Mow him down. As you can see, this game is a lot faster than Grim Dawn. Grim Dawn is a much slower paced game, which isn't bad. I definitely enjoyed Grim Dawn. In some ways, I actually like the graphics of Grim Dawn better. I mean, I've got the graphics on Last Epoch at minimum right now, just in case the performance gets worse because of the memory leak thing. So it's not gonna look the nicest right now. If you turn up the graphics, it looks pretty good. That's a ton of crafting materials. All right. Dump. Dump stuff in here. Shatter stuff. Man, I'm gonna have to buy some more stash tabs, but they cost 90,000 gold now. Which is nice, it's just in-game currency. It's not like PoE, since it's a free game, they charge you real money for stash tabs, but yep. Cool. Let's get some more glyphs here. Ooh. Oh, and the other thing, I guess, I mentioned I was going to be doing it, but now I'm actually have started it, is I started Father Donald Calloway's consecration of St. Joseph, so I'm working through that, and so when I finish, it'll be the feast of, so when I actually consecrate myself, it'll be the feast of St. Joseph the Worker. And so far, I'm only on like day 4 now, but it's been solid. He does a good job of explaining. It's almost a little too quote heavy for me. He quotes a lot from the saints, which is good, obviously. But sometimes it feels like you're just reading a book of quotes. But it's solid. I'll have more things to say about it as I go through it, but he definitely did a good job putting it together, and it's yeah, he very clearly outlined through a lot of these quotes from the saints that he has, and then through his own explanations, the relevance of consecration to Saint Joseph today, obviously with all of the breakdown of marriage and the family, that Saint Joseph is going to be very important in combating that, and talked about the this morning I was reading about the gifts of Saint Joseph and that he's particularly good. And part of the reason I started it was for freedom of sins of the flesh and lust. And obviously it's important for men in another role of manhood, or role model for manhood outside of obviously Christ himself. But it's cool because when I do this, I'll be essentially fully consecrated to the Holy Family. Just know that I have them looking out for me in a special way. Something that brings me a lot of joy and peace. All right. Shatter these. Oh, man, this is what I'm saying. I'm sleepy. And I let myself sleep in a little later than I normally do today, but I guess I am out of space. Cool. Well, how far are we in? About 52 minutes. A little shorter than normal, but I think I'll call it there. Yeah, Last Epoch. It's really good. I know one thing I guess I never showed was how the passive system works. You basically put points into these trees, and you can't like start down here. You start over here, and as you add them, you unlock the next tiers and stuff. And then at level 25, you get to pick a specialization. So I went Marksman. So I've actually put most of my points into the Marksman tree. And that's where I'm kind of still putting points in. Oh, actually, I have an unspent point right now. I never spent my 80. Put that there. And so you get to fill out these trees. So there's Blade Dancer too, which is like so my class is Rogue, and this is more like actually a Rogue. You're melee based, and this is Marksman, so you're Archer. And then Falconer, I think, is supposed to be like a pet based build, but that isn't out yet. Will be later upon release, I believe. And then along with that, you have your skills and specializations, which I actually still need to put a point in for that. And these are the actual abilities I have. And as you use your abilities, you level them up. And each ability has its own skill tree that you put stuff into, which is pretty cool. So that's about some of the basics of Last Epoch. Obviously, I'm just running endgame stuff. I encourage you, if you do like the game, go buy it. The team seems pretty solid. It's a small company. You're not just, giving money to some Blizzard or somebody that has more money and might just tricky make a crappy game. We'll see how Diablo turns out. And I got this new relic, which I think I'm going to be using for the time being. So with that, thank you for watching. Catch you all later with some more ARPG content. Probably might make a video some Path of Exile. I'll be bouncing around, but I'll keep it all on that one playlist, just ARPG playthroughs and talk. So with that, I'll catch y'all later. Peace.